Welcome in Chiefs Kingdom to Chiefs Latest, your one-stop spot for everything Kansas City Chiefs in 15 minutes or less. It is your host, Calvin Silvers, and I hope everyone is having a fantastic Tuesday. I have another action-packed show for you today, but before we dive into our four topics, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and make sure you turn on those notifications, as it doesn't only help me and the channel, but it's going to help you stay up to date with everything Kansas City Chiefs. As I mentioned, four great topics, so let's go ahead and just dive right into our first one. And Andy Reid has already named who's going to be the backup to the one and only Patrick Mahomes. That's right. Andy Reid announced that Gardner Minshew will be starting over Bailey Zappi at that backup position. I think it's just smart to not only have him in that position and be the backup, but to get your depth chart set right now. And I get it. Injuries, God forbid, to Mahomes or Minshew can happen from here to the start of the season. But just to have it set in stone right now, it avoids any confusion, and it's just going to maximize the correct reps. Like Minshew now is going to get the first team slash second unit reps, while Zappy is going to work and develop with that later second unit and third unit. So now everyone knows what groups they need to work with. Everyone can be focused. And I think just that partnership with Mahomes and Minshew is going to be good. And we know Andy Reid likes to have a veteran backup. So that comes in with Minshew's experience, and he has better success than Zappy has. And I'm referring more to the Colts season that Minshew had not too long ago. But just the success there is better than anything Zappy has done on an NFL field. Now, it matters because obviously quarterback is the most important position out there on the football field. So you don't want any confusion on who's next. And not only that, as I mentioned, you want to develop and you want to get the chemistry built with the right units and with the right people. So having Minshew set in stone as your backup, he gets to work with the correct units. So this decision shuts down competition per se, and it just focuses more on the team and that chemistry and those units. Now, looking at Minshew's resume, they signed him this offseason to replace Carson Wentz, 29 years old, 46 starts since 2019 with the Jags, the Colts, and the Raiders. In his career, 11,950 passing yards, 68 touchdowns, 34 interceptions. That's a 63.3% completion rate. 2023, as I mentioned, with the Colts in that season, 7-6 record, 3,305 yards, 15 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and they nearly made the playoffs. Actually, the reason they missed the playoffs was because of a failed fourth down attempt. Now, when you're looking at Zappy, on the other hand, 26 years old, only 9 starts, mostly with the Patriots, 1 with the Browns. In his career, 2,223 yards, 12 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, 4-5 overall record. And his interception rate per start is double the pace of Minshew's. So just really no point in even having not only Zappy battle for that position, but to even consider Zappy right now as the backup quarterback. And when Andy Reid's even talking about Minshew, he just values that sideline insight and that veteran presence around the guys. So Reid always knew that Minshew was going to be that number 2. He just now came out and said it. So I just love the move. Minshew's proven that he can at least be a valuable, backup if something did, God forbid, happen to Mahomes, that he could come in, he could provide, and he could lead a team, because he almost did with the Colts to the playoffs. So has that experience to lead a team if need be. And Zappy's just not, he's just not ready for that backup position quite yet. So let's go ahead and jump to our second topic here. We're going to stay on the offense, and we're going to talk about Travis Kelce, because he showed up and he is looking slim, really slim. Dropped 25 pounds and losing more possibly. And not only is he losing the pounds, but that's going to help him regain his quickness. So that's just going to be fun to see. And not only that, it shows that he's motivated. He's coming into the season motivated. He's not coming off last season with back-to-back Super Bowl wins, dating Swift and going overseas to her concerts and whatnot. Nah, he's more focused this upcoming season. He's not complacent with himself or where the team is. So it's just exciting that he took this offseason very seriously. And it matters because he's coming off his worst year stat-wise since his rookie year. That's not good for the future Hall of Famer Travis Kelce. So he's looking to silence those washed critics because I don't think he's washed. Now, do I think he's going to get back to what he was even just in his prime or a few years ago? No. But I still think he can be a valuable asset in this upcoming year, maybe even 1 to 2 after this upcoming year, because last season we saw a dip, 97 catches, 823 yards, only 3 touchdowns in 16 games. Like I mentioned, all career lows for a full season. That really raised his concerns about a decline because he is also 35, but coming in slimmer frame. As I mentioned, he's going to be faster, and I think that's going to restore that yard after catch ability, or yak as they call it. And that's going to be critical for those third down conversions. And yes, he still ranked fifth among tight ends in receiving yards, but as I mentioned, that yak it felt diminished. And so I think with that slimmer frame, we're going to see that come back. And they just need Kelsey as that red zone threat again, because that was really an issue for them last season and it was talked about all last season. And so, in a way to fix that quickly is just to get Kelsey back to that form. Uh, some weight loss details. He's been in Florida training hard, focused on mobility, recovery, diet. You just love to see it. He skipped voluntary OTAs for that personalized regimen, and I don't mind it. If he's going to come back motivated and looking the way he does, that's fine with me. Go ahead and miss out because he's going to return from minicamp on June 17th. And so, as I mentioned, that slimmer Kelsey frame, that's going to boost his speed. It's going to be nice agility now for Andy Reid's play action passes. It's just going to be great. And you have that wide receiver depth this season that just complements his role. So just Kelsey coming back slimmer, not only does he look good, but that 25-pound drop, that's a statement. It's a statement. He's not done. He's not washed. He's sending a message without saying anything to those that doubted him. He's motivated from that Super Bowl loss. Haters are fueling his comeback, and he wants to end his career on the right note. So expect a resurgence in 2025. I'm predicting likely to get back near 1,000 yards, and he's got to eclipse at least 5 touchdowns, right? I definitely see that happening. All right, let's go ahead and just stay with the offense, and let's go ahead and talk about the wide receivers. I know I've been talking about the wide receivers quite a bit, but I haven't talked about one, and some people might be like, whoa, he's still with the team. That's right, Sky Moore. I think this might be his last Chiefs mini camp, and it's time to move on. And it's for the best, honestly. With their recent draft picks at receiver, you had Rice, you had Worthy, and now possibly Royals. It just shows that they are not even thinking about Sky Moore anymore and are more worried about what they have in that room and what they've been building with the past 3 seasons. And Moore's never really impressed on the stat sheet. He's disappeared last season when he did play. He just no longer fits that crowded wide receiver room. And that depth chart is just stacked. The Chiefs is. And as long as everyone can stay healthy, it's just stacked with more veteran and reliable presence in that room, especially veterans like Juju Smith-Schuster. And cutting Moore saves $1.5 million in cap space. You always love to save a little money there. So minicamp June 17th to 19th is Moore's last shot to prove his worth. Can he do it? I don't really think he's going to be impressive enough to save a spot. Looking at his numbers, his rookie year, 22 catches, 250 yards, 0 touchdowns in 16 games. 2023, 21 catches, 244 yards, 1 touchdown in 14 games. And then last season, 6 games, 3 catches, 32 yards, 0 touchdowns. It did miss some time with that core muscle injury. So in total, that's right, drum roll please. That's a total of 43 catches, 494, and 1 touchdown over 3 seasons. Underwhelming for a second-round pick. And Mahomes even called out Moore, saying that he must compete in a crowded wide receiver room to earn a spot. But he did praise Moore's work ethic, and he does have a good work ethic. And that's usually talked about when you bring up Sky Moore because you're not really talking about what he does out there on the field or on the stat sheet. So it's a subtle challenge that Moore's spot's not guaranteed, and he must outperform some veterans and some rookies. And I think the Chiefs also have players like Justin Ross, Tyquan Thornton, Elijah Badger that could also make some noise and just make it harder for Sky Moore to make it to that final roster spot. So I just think Moore is not what he was. I think he's a bust. His stats are non-existent. The Chiefs don't need him. You have Worthy, you have Rice, Royals. They bring the speed, the upside. Even Rice is proven. So, and cutting more clears some cap space, and it clears a roster spot for this team that's trying to get back to a Super Bowl. So I just think, Sky Moore, thank you for your time, but it's time to move on, and there's nothing that needs else to be said about it. So let's go ahead and talk about Max Crosby, because he's sending quote unquote threats, or that he's going to dethrone the Chiefs. That's right. Chiefs 9-year AFC West reign might be the closest to under, fire that it's been in recent memory, but I still think that the AFC West is yet to take down the Chiefs. It's not going to be this upcoming season. Max Crosby's, quote unquote, kill Mahomes talk on his podcast. It just shows that relentless, rivals, and that they always want to take you down. It's good to have a rivalry like that, someone that always wants to take you down. And then with that new culture over there that the Raiders have, and an improved Broncos team, especially Bo Nix getting now another season under his belt, and the Chargers, they always make it tough. So it's going to be tough for the Chiefs. It's not going to be a cakewalk, but I still think the Chiefs have the edge in the AFC West with Mahomes, Reed, and that playoff pedigree. But AFC West did send 3 of 4 teams to the 2024 playoffs, so it's the toughest division yet per PFF. And Crosby's challenge, as I mentioned on his podcast, said, I'm trying to literally kill Mahomes every play. He had 12 and a half sacks last year, 88 pressures, and that $106.5 million contract shows that he's a threat. He loves to go against Mahomes. You love to see those two go against each other, but it wasn't smooth sailing for the Chiefs, even against the Raiders last year. Yes, Mahomes was 2-0 against them last season, but he only threw for 588 yards and 3 touchdowns and a pick. And those games came down to the wire. And the Raiders are a team that the Chiefs should have handled better last season. As I mentioned, the Broncos are coming up. Bo Nix last season, 3,775 yards, 29 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Not a bad rookie campaign, and new defenders like Greenlaw will be joining them. And then Chargers and Jim Harbaugh had 11-win season last year. And the Raiders, as I mentioned, new culture, bringing in Pete Carroll, Geno Smith, add some veteran presence. They want to make some noise as well. I don't think they will, but they're trying to make some noise and trying to, get their, not only themselves motivated, but their fans motivated, as we saw with Max Crosby's quote on Mahomes. But when looking at the AFC West, Mahomes has a 35-5 record against those teams since 2018, and he's 13-1 versus the Broncos. So just an absolute crazy stat that I had to double check myself, because while I know that we've been dominating the Broncos, I can't believe it's been that bad. And the Chiefs this season, healthier wide receivers, hopefully, that can stay healthy. And then McDuffie's elite cornerback play, The defense is still going to be good. I think this team is still going to be atop the AFC West, despite what Crosby is saying now. His talk is bold. I love it. Like I said, trying to get motivated for the season. But Mahomes does not only own the Raiders, but he just owns the AFC West. So Broncos, Chargers, yeah, they're better, but I still think the Chiefs have the edge. So be on the lookout for that 10th straight AFC West title. Well, that was today's show. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I mentioned, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe down below and turn on those notifications, and go ahead and leave your thoughts in the comments. How do you feel about Minshew getting that second spot on the depth chart at quarterback? Let me know what you think about a slimmer Kelsey. Is he going to get back to that form that we saw even just a few years ago? Let me know your thoughts on Sky Moore. Did you like him as a Chiefs? And talk about what you think the AFC might be able to do against our Chiefs this season. As I mentioned, I am your host, Calvin Silvers. Daily shows for you Monday through Friday. And until next time, have a good one.